It's funny how life can throw these curveballs at you when you least expect them. You go through your days thinking you've got everything figured out, your relationships, your friendships. Then, one quiet moment, a small thing happens, and suddenly, the world feels completely different. Mark had always been my best friend. Not just the kind of friend who's there for a beer after work, but the kind you trust with your secrets, your worries, the kind who knows your every flaw and still sticks around. I knew him better than anyone else. I thought I did. We met in university, and from that first conversation, there was something easy about our friendship. He was the type of person who could make you laugh no matter what mood you were in. I was a bit more reserved, but he helped me open up. He became my confidant, my sounding board. If anything important happened in my life, Mark was the first person I'd go to. And then there was Emma. I'll admit, I wasn't the smoothest when it came to relationships, but when Emma and I started dating, it just clicked. She was everything I wasn't: outgoing, full of energy, always ready for an adventure. And we had some amazing years together, don't get me wrong. But as time went on, things started to feel off. The spark faded, and we began to drift apart. We tried to work through it, but we both knew deep down that the relationship had run its course. That's when it happened. The one thing I never thought would ever cross my mind. It all started with a casual conversation at a pub. Mark and I were having a few drinks, chatting about life as usual. The topic of Emma came up, just a quick mention of how we'd been on and off for a while. And that's when Mark said something that made me freeze mid-sip. He looked at me, and said, "Yeah, I know. I've been talking to her too." I didn't fully register what he meant at first. Talking to her, I must ve looked confused, because Mark clarified. "Well, I mean, we've been hanging out lately. I thought you knew." Suddenly, my stomach dropped. I remember the air feeling thicker, the space between us suddenly expanding. I sat there in shock, processing what he had just said. Talking to her, hanging out, but it didn't register. It didn't hit me as quickly as it should have. I was so taken aback by the idea that I couldn't even react properly. I just nodded, pretending I wasn't fazed, trying to brush it off. Maybe I was in denial. Maybe I didn't want to believe it. The rest of the evening passed in a blur. We didn't talk much after that. I think Mark knew something was wrong, but we didn't address it. And for the next few days, I couldn't shake that feeling. The thought gnawed at me what exactly was going on between Mark and Emma. I didn't confront him. I didn't ask any questions. Instead, I let the doubt grow inside me, until it felt like it was the only thing I could think about. A few days later, I saw a post on social media, one of those casual pictures that seem harmless at first. It was a photo of Emma and Mark together, laughing, the caption reading, "Great day with a good friend." But something about it didn't sit right. Maybe it was the way they looked at each other. Maybe it was the way they were so comfortable together. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it felt wrong. And it made my stomach turn. The days that followed felt like a slow burn. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Every time I saw Mark or checked my phone, all I could see was that photo, that smile on their faces. And the thought kept creeping back into my mind: what had they been doing? How long had this been going on? I kept telling myself it was nothing. That maybe I was just overthinking. But deep down, I knew it wasn't nothing. I just couldn't bring myself to confront him about it. It wasn't that I didn't trust Mark, it was more that I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to admit that my best friend, the person I trusted with everything, could be involved with someone who had once been so important to me. It felt like a betrayal of a completely different kind. I remember sitting alone one night, scrolling through my phone. I'd been trying to keep my mind busy, but every notification felt like a reminder. And there it was again, another photo of Mark and Emma together. This time, they were at a restaurant, leaning in close, sharing a laugh. That was it. I couldn't ignore it anymore. The hurt, the anger, the confusion, everything came flooding in. I had to know what was going on. But I still couldn't bring myself to ask. Instead, I did the one thing I never thought I would do. I reached out to Emma. I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't sure if I was going to get the truth or a lie, but I needed something. I texted her, just asking to talk. No drama. Just a conversation. Her reply came almost instantly, "Of course, I'm happy to talk." So we arranged to meet. And when I saw her that day, everything seemed to slow down. It was like time was moving in slow motion as I tried to gather the courage to ask the one question that had been eating me alive. "Emma, what's going on with you and Mark?" The question was simple, but the way she responded wasn't. She paused for a moment, almost like she was waiting for me to say something else, something more dramatic. But I didn't. I just wanted the truth. And slowly, she said, "It's been happening for a while now. We didn't plan for it, but it just happened." My stomach twisted. A part of me wanted to scream, to rage, to ask why she would do this to me. But the words didn't come. I just sat there, listening, taking it in. She told me they'd been seeing each other on and off for months, and that they'd kept it quiet because they didn't want to hurt me. But that's exactly what they had done, hadn't they? I couldn't stop the feelings of betrayal. It wasn't just Mark. It was Emma too, someone I had trusted, someone I had shared so many moments with, now was with him. Someone who had always been there for me, someone I'd laughed with, cried with, someone who knew everything about my past. The conversation was quiet after that. Neither of us said much. What could we say? I just couldn't process what I had just learned. She apologized, but the words felt empty. The damage had been done, and there was nothing she could say to take it back. When I left that meeting, I felt like I had lost everything. Not just Emma, not just Mark, but a part of me. The trust, the friendship, the relationship, it was all shattered. And I didn't know how to fix it. Days passed, and life continued in this strange, hollow way. I was going through the motions, pretending to be fine, pretending that everything was okay. But I wasn't. I wasn't okay. I avoided Mark for a while, didn't return his messages. I didn't want to hear it from him. I didn't want to know why he did what he did. I didn't want to confront him because if I did, it would make it real. I wasn't sure if I could ever talk to him again. The betrayal wasn't something that could be fixed with a simple conversation. It was deeper than that. It wasn't until a few weeks later, when Mark texted me saying he wanted to meet up, that I finally found the courage to face him. I had been putting it off, but I knew I had to do it. So, we met at the same place we used to hang out, and there was this strange tension in the air. He didn't speak at first. He just sat there, looking at me, waiting for me to say something. And I did. I asked him, "Why?" He looked down. "I never meant for it to happen," he said. "We didn't plan it, but after everything." It just did. I didn't want to hurt you, man. I really didn't. The words felt empty. They didn't change anything. The damage had already been done. And I didn't know where to go from here.